My wife and I have been married for 5 years and we have 2 small children. My mother fell down at home some time ago. She broke her right foot and had a lot of trouble moving around. My wife and I decided to bring her in to take care of her. Although the financial situation at that time was not very good, we always taught our children that family is more important than anything else. It was a cold winter day. There were not many cars on the highway. Due to the slippery ground, a car hit the guardrail. The car in front of me slowed down. I put my foot on the brake and prepared to slow down. I heard a horn honking from behind. I saw a big tour bus in my rearview mirror. The driver kept honking his horn. I knew in my heart that there was no way for him to stop the bus, probably because of the slippery ground. This was my nightmare and I was terrified. I said out loud, "Am I going to die here today?" A few seconds later, the moment the car hit me, time immediately stopped. Everything was quiet. As time stopped, a feeling of being loved grew stronger and stronger. Panic was replaced by love, giving me a sense of calm and I was no longer afraid. I was held in a way that I had never felt such love since I was a child. Think of someone who loves you deeply, now multiply that feeling by 10,000 times. Maybe you'll be able to feel what I feel. I feel like there are 2 other people with me. I can't explain how I know this. One of them is my grandmother. It took me many years to figure out who the other one was. Most of us have been taught to trust God in our lives. Although I was raised in a Christian home, I was very disappointed in my father because of the violence I experienced in my childhood. The next thing I saw was God, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He said to me, "My child, calm down and everything will be okay." I felt like I was his child, and it was a very safe and warm place. He had very loving and gentle hands. He reviews my life. I see the good things I have done. I can feel the joy they feel when I help others. He told me, "I am proud of you." Looking back on this also brought me joy because I could feel the difference I was making in their lives. I didn't realize it at the time. I also saw the wrong things that had been done. I had to feel the damage I had caused. God was not judging me. Instead, I was judging myself, and believe me, no one can judge themselves more harshly than they can judge themselves. I was so ashamed that he asked me, "What have you learned from this?" He didn't yell at me. It was hard for me to forgive myself. In his eyes, I got the answer that punishing myself did not make me better. Accepting his love was what he wanted me to do. Once I was able to accept God's love, it was easier for me to look at my life. I wanted to learn as much as I could, and I had a lot of questions. God loves me as much as I love my children. Even if they do something wrong, I still love them. I am not happy with their behavior, but that doesn't change my love for them. I am not physically abusing my children, but I am hurting them with my words. That's just too bad. I could feel their pain. I felt like a failure. When the life review was over, he explained to me my mission on earth. I was very surprised. All of us are very important to God. I thought he did not know about my existence. I asked him, "Why do I have such a father?" I didn't have a happy childhood, and he told me, "You have to experience something to learn and to continue my work there. What is the point of life if everyone lives the same? That's why my work is so important. That's why I don't take criticism of anyone lightly. Some of us are here to teach and some of us are here to learn, and I have learned that the earth is like a school. When we finish our studies, we have to take a final exam. That is, a review of each person's life, and then we can graduate and go home. Everything becomes so meaningful. Finally, he showed me what I still needed to do. The next question before me was, do you want to stay or leave? Even though I wanted to stay in his arms, I needed to go back and finish some things. I didn't want to leave too many regrets. Very reluctantly, I replied, as much as I wanted to stay. But I knew I had to go back. The moment I said that, my conversation with God ended. 1 second, I was having a pleasant conversation with God and my grandmother. Suddenly, I was back in the car. My hands were on the steering wheel and I was still driving. I'm thinking, I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't believe that I learned so much in 3 seconds. I can't believe my brain can think about so many things at the same time. In the back of my mind was a voice, take your foot off the brake, put your foot on the gas, and steer to the left. I did as instructed. I slowly pulled the car over because I wasn't sure what else was going to happen. I want to emphasize here that if I hadn't heard that sound, I wouldn't have stepped on the gas and I would have been caught in the middle or just run over by the bus. I didn't go to the hospital right away because I felt fine. I sat in the car and I kept hugging myself because I didn't want to lose God's love. I felt like He was still with me. When the police officer opened my car door, I had tears in my eyes all at once. When he opened the car door, God's love slowly began to fade away. I couldn't tell him what had happened because I had a hard time believing it myself. A few hours after the accident, I began to have pain all over my body and couldn't move my neck. My wife took me to the emergency room that night. I didn't tell anyone about it. If I told them what had happened, they would have put me in a mental hospital. I didn't think anyone would believe me. As I said before, I saw my mission on earth clearly. When the crash was over, I forgot everything. I went back to my old self and tried to find my way. But it was clear to me that God was really watching over me. I keep a picture of myself above my bed and remind myself every morning that I am a child of God. When I get stuck, I stop and think about what I'm going to do next, because I don't want to hurt anyone else. Even though I'm not perfect, I try really hard to do the right thing. I occasionally wonder why I'm stupid enough to stay here. I keep yelling at myself, what the hell were you thinking? When I see the sun come through the clouds, sometimes I really want to go back there. To me, God is the light. He is reminding me to remember how much He loves me and that I will never be alone. One day I will return to Him forever. Until I get back there, it's a wonderful game to look at every difficulty as an adventure. Life becomes so much easier.